Japanese food culture is one deeply rooted in the country's history, geography, and traditions. From delicate sushi to hearty ramen, the diverse flavors and textures present in Japanese dishes have made them popular worldwide. The cuisine's unique characteristics, such as the use of fresh, high-quality ingredients and the attention to detail in presentation, have contributed to its rising status in the global culinary landscape. The foundation of Japanese food culture lies in its philosophy of balance and harmony, known as washoku. This principle emphasizes the importance of 5 colors, flavors, and cooking methods in every meal to create a visually appealing and deliciously satisfying experience. Washoku also prioritizes seasonal ingredients, fostering a strong connection between the dishes and the natural environment of Japan. In addition, the Japanese food culture is heavily influenced by regional variations, with localities often boasting their specialty dishes. These regional differences are a result of the varied climate, environment, and historical influences throughout the archipelago. For example, coastal regions are renowned for their seafood-inspired dishes, while mountainous areas benefit from the unique flavors of wild herbs and plants. Overall, the rich and diverse food culture of Japan captures the essence of the country, offering visitors and natives alike an unforgettable culinary journey. In ancient times, the foundation of Japanese food culture was built on simple meals consisting of rice, fish, and vegetables cooked together. The Japanese people's connection to nature and their philosophy of harmonious living greatly influenced the development of their cuisine. During the 16th century, Portuguese traders first arrived in Japan, bringing with them new ingredients and cooking techniques. This cultural exchange led to the introduction of new dishes and flavors, notably deep-fried foods like tempura. The Meiji period marked a significant shift in the Japanese food landscape, as the country opened its doors to Western influences. With a strong push for modernization, Western-style dishes started to gain popularity, giving rise to new culinary creations like yoshoku, a distinctive fusion of Japanese and Western flavors. Synonymous with Japanese cuisine and one of Japan's major symbols, sushi is one of the most mind-boggling yet delicious types of food in the world. The idea of eating raw fish may make you cringe at first, but there's a reason why it is the beloved food of the Japanese people for centuries and why it has taken the world by storm in recent years. While the westernized version of sushi overseas, such as the California roll, have gained popularity, just one bite of Japanese sushi is enough to be a life-changing experience. Low in fat but high in protein, carbohydrates, vitamins, and omega acids, sushi is not only one of the most healthy dishes worldwide, but also has a delicate taste that very few, if any, cuisines can match. Sushi masters, or taisho, take great pride in their work, treating sushi making almost like an art after decades of training. Thus, it's essential to know the different manners involved in eating sushi and making the most out of the delicious experience. The joys of fried food are shared worldwide, and Japan does it exceptionally well with tempura. According to the Michelin Guide, the origins of the dish actually come from the Portuguese in the 16th century, who made a habit of lightly flouring and frying food. In Japan, fish, vegetables, and meat are all up for grabs. Popular favorites include sweet potatoes, shrimp, and mushrooms. Tempura continued to evolve in the centuries following its introduction, with variations made to the batter content and fat used for frying. Presently, each part of the country prepares the dish with slight differences, and whereas flour, eggs, and water make up the batter in the East, eggs aren't used in the West. The eastern part opts for frying the tempura at high heat in sesame oil, and meanwhile, low heat and vegetable oil are the preferred method in the West. Dipping sauces, daikon radish, or just salt are used to season the fried snack. If you've got an appetite, larger, meal-sized portions known as tendon are served on top of rice with a sweet and salty sauce, pickles, and miso soup, and the fried delicacy can even accompany noodle soups. Japanese, then you'll know that yakitori means grilled bird, according to Food in Japan. Nowadays, the term can be used to describe different skewered meats and vegetables cooked on a grill, although chicken is the most common version of the dish. In fact, yakitori made from chicken offal have traditionally been predominant, though thanks to the sweet soy and mirin glaze commonly used, you probably wouldn't even notice. Other styles of yakitori are simply seasoned with salt, and plenty of regional variations exist. Aside from all things chicken, other typical ingredients include pork, mushrooms, leek, and even seafood. The skewers are a staple street food snack. As well, yakitori-ya restaurants that specialize in the grilled snacks are popular with the after-work crowd looking for a quick bite over a pint of beer. Yakitori is also easy to find in izakayas, pub-style restaurants serving small plates. Whether you order a couple of skewers or a dozen, yakitori always makes for a satisfying bite. Takoyaki, commonly referred to as octopus balls, takoyaki is a tasty street food you have to try. Octopus meat, usually seasoned with pickled ginger and green onions, is coated in a wheat flour batter shaped into a ball. Next, the spheres are grilled in a special pan that consists of rounded indents to hold the balls. The cooked balls are topped with takoyaki sauce, Japanese mayonnaise, and dried bonito flakes. It might sound like a lot, but the doughy balls combine the perfect balance of juicy filling with a creamy, sweet, and salty coating that makes it hard to eat just one. Thankfully, they are always sold in multiples, so you won't have to settle for less. Takoyaki is especially popular at festivals, so keep an eye out for yadai stands which specialize in the savory treats. Although the snack is said to have originated in Osaka, you can confidently enjoy it across the country and overseas. While you might not associate curry with Japan, most Japanese people eat the dish weekly, regularly listing it among their favorite foods. Curry ended up in Japan via the British Navy in the late 1800s. It gained popularity as it was easy to prepare for large groups, and eventually pre-made curry mixes were sold for quick home cooking. Among the most popular is a curry topped with a breaded pork cutlet that accompanies the sauce and rice. During a time of rice shortage in the late 1800s, a U.S. agriculturist instated the addition of potatoes, forever changing the components of the dish. Apart from potatoes, common ingredients include carrots and meat, often pork or beef. To contrast the rich curry, it is commonly served with sweet pickles or scallions. Onigiri. If you're looking for a snack that's easy to grab on the go, onigiri could be it. The rice balls, more triangular than round in shape, are incredibly versatile and customizable, and can even be a nourishing meal. In fact, onigiri shuttle korogin indicates that they show up at breakfast, in bento boxes at lunch, and are regularly enjoyed late into the night. There's nothing new about onigiri, and according to the Japan Times, the dish dates back over 2,000 years. Aside from a triangle-shaped mound of rice, there's also a filling hiding inside or displayed more obviously on the surface. Kikkoman lists pickled apricot, plum, grilled fish, roe, meat, or vegetables as popular options, although local and seasonal variations are abundant. The rice is often wrapped with nori leaves, seaweed, to prevent it from drying out, but other types are sprinkled with sesame seeds. Though many people's introduction to ramen might have been in a cheap instant format, the noodle dish has plenty more to offer. Japan Guide points out that the soup actually originates from China, though ramen restaurants, have exploded in popularity in Japan since its introduction. The Guardian even refers to certain cities, such as Fukuoka, as ramen towns, thanks to its 2,000 ramen-ya locations. Although there are countless versions, in essence, ramen consists of a seasoning, tare, broth, noodles, and toppings. The broth can be made from different bases such as soy sauce, shoyu, soybean, miso, pork bone, tonkatsu, or salt, shio, as per Japan Guide. In traditional establishments, the broth continues to be regenerated and is never allowed to be entirely used up. In fact, The Guardian indicates the broth at one ramen-ya in Kurum had been simmering for 60 years. The noodles are usually wheat-based, though variations in stretchiness and thickness are common. Mental Floss explains that ramen noodles are unique for their alkaline pH level, which prevents them from dissolving or getting too soft in the hot broth. Meat lovers will enjoy the fatty hunks of braised pork that top the noodle soup, and corn, seaweed, bamboo, eggs, tofu, and bean sprouts are common extras. Donburi. The most direct translation of Donburi is a bowl, and that's exactly what you'll get. Thankfully, the bowl isn't empty, and Japan Guide explains that it generally contains a base of rice with popular toppings, such as chicken, beef, breaded pork cutlets, raw seafood, grilled eel, eggs, and tempura. For example, katsudon refers to a pork cutlet bowl, and gyudon, one of the more typical options, is a beef bowl. Extra add-ons can vary widely depending on the style of don and whether or not the chef is exploring creative options, but contrasting flavors such as pickled ginger or daikon radishes are common. A sugar, soy sauce, mirin, and dashi-based sauce is often used to season the contents of the bowl. The dish is simple, straightforward, and one of Japan's takes on fast food. According to Tokyo Spark, Donburi has been around since sometime between the 14th and 16th centuries, and it shows no sign of disappearing thanks to its practical format. Tamagoyaki. You're probably familiar with omelets, but how about tamagoyaki? The Japanese version of the egg dish is not only as delicious as you'd expect, but it's also aesthetically pleasing. Instead of frying up a flat round omelet in a pan, eggs are whipped with mirin, sugar, and soy sauce and folded over themselves as they cook. A special rectangular tamagoyaki pan is favored for the preparation, ultimately producing a tubular omelet that is tender and light. The roll is sliced and often served in a bento box, or you might find it with rice as sushi. Although basic tamagoyaki is kept simple, variations with extra ingredients are also common. For example, the omelet can be stuffed with fried rice and vegetables for a filling dish, which Japan Experience notes displays a combination of Japanese and Western influences. Miso soup is so much more than a bowl of broth that comes with your sushi or bento box. In fact, Japan Center notes that the soup is fundamental to the Japanese diet, and the majority of the population eats it once a day. The Chinese are once again responsible for the introduction of miso, and Japan Center traces the origin back to the 6th or 7th century. The soup is simply made using dashi stock and miso paste, and toppings are added for contrasting textures. Or you can add boiling water to a packet of instant miso soup for a decent approximation. As far as toppings go, wakame seaweed, tofu, mushrooms, and green onions are commonly included. Although you might not have so many miso options in the instant packet format, the paste comes in a range of colors. Made from fermented soybeans, it can be white, yellow, red, brown, or black, depending on the preparation and length of the fermentation and aging. Typically, darker miso will have a more pungent aroma and infuse more flavor into the broth. Every chef and household has their own miso soup recipe, perfected over time, so trying plenty of different versions is a great way to explore the nuances.